Change is in the air. What is up, guys? Sean Kober here of Performance Functional Training. I'm going to be sharing with you a 6-week transitional video series. All right, so this is going to be episode 1. The reason I'm putting this series together is because I'm about to go through a major transitional phase in my life, and I want to share the good and the bad with you guys, as well as how I navigate this period. So basically, I resigned from my job at Tiger Muay Thai as the head strength and conditioning coach about 4 months ago after some stuff happened that I didn't like, that gave me a look into the direction that the company was moving forward, and I didn't want to be a part of that, so I resigned. They asked me to come back. I agreed to that upon certain terms. Then I went and traveled for about 6 weeks. I got back, and unfortunately I was put back onto a 3-month probationary period, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, because I told them that they were also on probation. Now basically I'm about 10 weeks into that 3-month probation, and by the end of next week that probationary period is up. So I sat down over the weekend and I really put a lot of thought into where I'm at, took stock of where I'm at, did some projections of what I want my ideal life and my ideal week to look like, and now I've just been kind of moving my pieces on the chessboard so that when I get to the end of next week, I've created a little bit of a safety net. So basically what I'm going to be doing with this series is I'm going to be sharing with you guys what's happening live as things unfold, and then I'm also going to relate back to some podcast episodes that I've recorded with some great guests over the last couple of years. When the pandemic kicked off, I was like, right, I've wanted to start a podcast, now's the time to do it. So I've actually got 167 episodes recorded, and I released one episode every week for 2 years, from May 2020 until May 2022. So I'm going to be referencing some of those podcast episodes. I'm going to have some of the fuller episodes linked in the description below, particularly some episodes that are relevant to today's conversation. So keep an eye out for the next 6 weeks, guys. In today's episode, I'm sharing with you guys how I'm not afraid to step out into the unknown, and I'm not afraid to take on change, because I've gone through my hierarchy of values and I know that I'm not happy with where I'm at right now. So I asked myself the question, am I content with where my life is at right now? And the answer was no. And then the next question was, can I create some change? Yes. Okay, what does that change look like? Da 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 da. And then I just followed the bouncing ball. Okay, and the other thing is, I'm not afraid to step out into the unknown without having the answers, right? Like sometimes when we're looking at motivation direction, we have towards motivation, which is that's my goal and I'm going to be walking up the hill. Sometimes there's away from motivation, and this is where you're walking along and you can smell some dog shit or something and you're like, that stinks, I need to get away from here. Once you're far enough away from there, then that doesn't give you any motivation to keep moving. So using both different types of motivation is very important. Right now I'm using away from motivation. I know that I'm not happy with where I'm at right now. I know I can make some changes. I've tried to make as many changes as I can in the current circumstances. Unfortunately, it's not working out, so I'm going to step out and move towards something. I'm going to move far enough away from where I'm at right now, and then figure out the rest of the steps and then build something that I can move towards. But over the next few weeks, I'm going to be sharing that journey with you. So this episode is all about my hierarchy of value, motivation, direction. Then next week, I've kind of mentioned that over the last couple of weeks, I've been creating a safety net and basically mitigating as many risks as I can before I do make that transition. Then we're going to talk about the effect of your environment. Then we'll talk about course correcting. Then we're going to go into an episode on adapting to the unfolding circumstances. And then week 6, hopefully things have started to settle. I've found myself into a bit of a rhythm, into a good routine, and then I can optimize what I'm doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to be living my best life. If you enjoy these episodes, make sure you pass them off to friends and family. Also hit that like and subscribe button. Much love, guys. Peace.
Where did you first learn? Because there must have been times, I've read out Middleton's book about how he's a fucking nutter when he was younger, and now he's so cool and collected. it'd be interesting to hear your side of where you found that moment of. It's not just the growth mindset, because I think it's more than that. It's sort of what is there anything particular that you sort of clung onto that sort of taught you that narrative, or?
I think it's life, bro. Life has been the biggest teacher for me. You know, I came from a poor family. My stepdad was abusive. I left home when I was 14. You know, I had to go and forge my own path. And that's because, like, I didn't want those traits, those characters, the character traits that my stepdad had to bleed over into my life. And I knew that the environment that I was in was not serving me, man. And whilst it was fucking scary to go, you know what, I'm going to leave home. I don't want to be here. You know, I was getting caught up with the wrong crowd. I was stealing and doing drugs and shit. And I was like, you know, if I continue down this path, it's not going to be a good place. So whilst it was scary to go, you know what, I'm going to leave here at 14. I'm going to leave home at 14 years old. I'm going to move to another state. I'm going to leave school, leave my family, leave my friends. I'm going to go and start work and get into the workforce, man. Like, I was more afraid of staying where I was and what was going to happen with my life if I didn't change anything than I was walking out into the big, wide, open world, you know? So having that mindset of taking chances and going, I'm not happy with where I am right now. I need to make a decision, because not making a decision is a decision in itself, right? So, you know, I had numerous like big moments in my life, big, massive crossroads where I had to make a big decision. And, you know, for the most part, man, I took that step. I made that jump, and that's how I ended up in Thailand, bro. I walked away from a relationship with a girl that I loved and cared about because I wasn't getting the opportunities that I wanted living in Tasmania. I wanted to work with professional athletes, you know, but I'd already gone through all of these monumental decisions in my life that had always worked out. Now, the reason they'd worked out is probably because I was like, I'm just going to make this decision. I'm going to fucking follow through with it. And I'm going to do the best I can to put myself in a fucking good position to take hold of any opportunities that come up. So I think that's a big thing. And that's something that I've learned over time, man.
Yeah. Something that's big for me is people are they're scared of having a tough time, but it's through the tough times is which you learn the most. I from personal experience as well. Similarly, I didn't leave home at 40. I left home at 60 just to get out of to get out of London. But I learned so much more from being challenged and challenging myself to go, what if I could do more, than just sat there being scared, being sat there, oh, that's going to be safe. Safe's fucking boring, man. And if you stay there all your life and just think you're going to be happy, you're going to be safe all the time, you're going to go nowhere. And I think that's a huge part of listening to you. And that's why I love speaking to you. It's just because there's such a real, we just got to make shit happen. There's no excuse. I've never done a podcast before, but fuck it, are you going to make it? Not worrying about whatever. You just got it done. And I think that's what people should take from this as well, is that is hugely important.
Yeah. Thing is, man, like, most people need to have all of the answers before they do anything. And it kind of ties back into what we were talking about earlier, where you're like ticking off the courses, tick, 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 tick. But are you actually applying that shit? You know?
Yeah.
Whereas people that have faced hardship, they have faced adversity, they're like, well, this is the situation that I've been in before. I've got a choice. Do I want to stay in that environment, or do I want to step out and try and create a better environment for myself? And they don't have all the fucking answers, right? They just get out there. They know that where they're at right now is not where they want to be. They want to be somewhere else. All right, I'm just going to put one foot in front of the other. I'm going to figure this shit out on the way. And that's exactly what I've done my entire fucking life, man. And it's something that's continued to serve me. You know, I'm not afraid of taking risks. I'm not afraid of, you know, jumping out and starting something that I, you know, may not have all the answers to. But I know that if I'm making that decision, again, intent, I'm making that decision with intent. Then I'll figure out the tools, I'll figure out the principles, I'll figure out what needs to be done along the way. And I'm not looking to have all the answers all the time. It's like, right, this is the problem that's come up. What's the solution that I need to find? All right, cool, smooth sailing. Something else comes up. All right, I need to find a solution for this as well. And that's where the lessons are, bro. The lessons are in the fucking journey. People that don't make big decisions, people that don't put themselves through hardship, people that don't step out of their comfort zone, never learn those lessons, and they always find themselves in a perpetual state of comfort, and they never fucking grow, and they never achieve anything.
100%, man. That literally sums it up.